Well, I think there's a sort of an arc of novelists, and at the one end there are the autobiographical novelists who can only write about their own life, and then at the other there are the completely objective novelists who only write about the world as they see it and completely efface themselves from the novel. And I'm probably about at that point. So I don't think of the novel as any form of confessional. I have occasionally used my own life in my fiction, but I've always tried to use it as objectively as if I was using someone else's life. And it's always seemed to me that it's easier to imagine things because then you can change them. If you say a friend in a novel, your idea of the friend is very fixed. And if you suddenly decide that in the novel you want the character based on that friend to do something that is out of character for the real person, you have a problem. The novel is quite different from the autobiographical form, that the novel is the creation of one person. I like to be my own dictator. Of course, I don't think of myself as that when I'm writing. I just think of myself as trying to be closest to the voice and the manner and the brain and the heart that the part of me that is a writer is. I think the process of making a novel or a short story is very different from making a film. I think a film has to be much more planned, and it has to be storyboarded from the beginning, and often in order to sell it you have to have a description of it in one sentence or two sentences. We've all seen films like The Player, that wonderful film about Hollywood, and every time I see a film made about the film world, I'm always enormously relieved that I'm a novelist. So I don't envy you your long future successful careers as filmmakers. And my attitude to them is, when people want to buy my books, is I don't believe it will ever happen. I mean, if you want to buy the rights, that's fine, but I don't think the film will ever happen, because every novelist, every writer has many examples of films not being made from their books. And then I always say to them, I don't want you to be I want you to be faithful to the spirit of the novel, but I want you to completely deconstruct it and make it different, because I didn't write it as a film, I wrote it as a novel. The two art forms are completely different. And I think it's dangerous if novelists have too much connection and are always saying, oh no, that's not true to the novel. There are the two best known films of Madame Bovary. One was made by Claude Chabrol about 10 or 15 years ago, and then there was a Vincente Minnelli film of it made with Jennifer Jones in, I don't know, late 40s, early 50s. Chabrol is completely faithful to the book. I went to interview him. I interviewed him about the book, and I said at one point, it's very good weather in your film. The sun is always shining. And he said, it never rains in the book. I said, really? He said, no, it never rains in the book. He said, and he had gone through the book, he annotated every single sound that is in the book, every single piece of bird song, the noise of an opening window. The American version with Minnelli is totally turned into Hollywood. It's much more extravagant. It's in black and white, whereas Chabrol's is in colour. And yet, the American film is more true to the book, somehow, than the very faithful homage that Chabrol, who's a wonderful director, has made to this book that he loves. He almost loves the book too much. So this is my advice to you, as in your future careers, that don't don't let novelists be your boss. If you buy a book, you pick it up, you throw it against the wall, you see what comes down, and then you pick up what works in a film.